Worobel, and I'm a licensed professional counselor. My counseling skills and qualifications cover a wide variety of areas.
Hello, everybody. This is Jeffrey Herrick. I'm conducting the park bench interviews with various business owners, events, just people who live in the community and want to express what they are doing, what they appreciate about it, and so on. Today, I'm with Natalie Worobel, who is a counselor, and she owns Natalie Worobel Counseling. And Natalie, I'd like you to introduce yourself, say a little bit about what you do and how you got involved in being a counselor.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jeff. So my name is Natalie Worobel, and I specialize in digital media overuse and addiction, which includes things like gaming, pornography, social media, spending, information, entertainment. And I have another branch of my practice that works on personal empowerment. So really helping people live the lives they want, take a lot more ownership and control over their lives, be more assertive, set better boundaries, and definitely being more authentic is a big overarching theme in both of my branches of my practice.
Okay, that's great. People might be interested in how you came to do this. It's certainly not for everybody.
Yeah.
People seem to have a calling for it. Is there anything about your background that would explain how you came into being a counselor?
Yeah. Well, being a counselor, I think, has always been part of my life in different ways. Growing up, I was always that person that people would come to talk to, and it always gave my life a lot of meaning. I then went on to study philosophy in school and was introduced to existential psychotherapy, and it helped bridge this gap of how to bring these really meaningful and important concepts into counseling and helping people live better lives. Digital media has also been alongside of my journey all along. Having parents from the Bahamas, it showed me a different relationship to technology than most people, and that really opened my eyes to some of the more problematic areas of how it was impacting our communication, our relationships, and our overall sense of quality of life too. So I was really excited to have some unique learning opportunities where I studied digital media overuse at a treatment center and education center for 2 years before branching out and starting my own practice. There's very few practitioners that work in this space, so it's been really fortunate to have so much education and learning and continue that work.
I'm curious if you are counseling a person who is overusing or a parent that has a child that's overusing, or what is the focus in terms of what a client would be in terms of this topic?
Yeah. One of the lenses I find to be the most meaningful and also pervasive throughout my work is something called self-determination theory. And so self-determination theory tells us that to build our intrinsic motivation, we need to touch on autonomy, connection, and competence. So I really help people look at how the digital media, whether it be gaming or pornography, is helping meet those needs right now. And instead of just ripping those away, because they'll feel that void, it's really about finding these really healthy substitutes for these things in everyday in-person life. And so I work with them on any barriers that they have to that, whether that be social anxiety, trouble with connection, maybe it's a difficult work environment where they're not really feeling competent. Some people find they want to go back to school, and also just finding ways to develop more autonomy in their lives, whether that's in their own relationships, whether that's in any arena, that sense of ownership and authenticity that they're bringing into their world.
And the other aspect of your practice, a little more relational, can you say a little bit more about that?
Sure, yeah, the personal empowerment piece is just another big passion area for me. I have about 10 years of experience working in addictions of different kinds. And so I've always worked with the family members of those who struggle with addiction too. So it was kind of born out of that, where they were so focused on the other person's life that they really lacked that sense of personal empowerment in their own life. So developing who are they outside of these relationships? What gives them meaning and joy? What boundaries do they need to set to preserve their own peace? And so it focuses on all those areas and really ties in my background with philosophy and existentialism as well.
That's very interesting, very exciting, really.
Yeah.
Mixing the philosophy, particularly the existential nature of philosophy and mixing that with counseling. Sounds like you would be a very good counselor for many people.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm curious about, it brings up marriage, and a lot of people do marriage counseling. Do you do marriage counseling, or is this more of an offshoot of relationship counseling?
Yeah, so my focus tends to be with the individual, but I do find it's really helpful to have accountability people involved too. So if there's somebody, say, struggling with gaming addiction or pornography addiction, and they have a partner who's really like a healthy partner or somebody who's really wanting to be healthier in that relationship, and help them set accountability, help them reach their goals or have their own goals, I will meet with those people from time to time. Also work with adult children. And so sometimes if parents are involved and still a big part of that picture, I'll help teach parents where they can set some boundaries, where they can provide support, and what support's really helpful and not enabling. So definitely, thanks for asking that. My focus tends to be on the individual, with this a little bit of an extension. If there's some support that's helpful, then we'll bring them in from time to time.
Well, of course, every individual has relationships.
Everyone.
So, you know.
Yeah, it's one of the big motivators, I think, for all of us when we go to counseling is like, hey, is this impacting my relationships?
It's usually also feedback from the world about what's wrong in relation to others is where you learn about yourself.
Definitely. Yeah, they say it's actually where we learn the most about ourselves is in context of relationships.
Yes. Natalie, your practice, we are in City Park at this point. Do you meet with people here in City Park? Is that your location?
Yeah. Thanks for asking that too. So currently I am meeting with people fully remote. So all virtual. This is actually, cool. This is my virtual office setup. So if you met with me, this is kind of background and what you'd see. And so because I have such a unique specialty, I work with people all throughout Colorado.
Is there anything else that you would like to say to the general public here in terms of inviting them to seek your services?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for introducing my services. And I really just want to share that I'm a big believer. I think we all benefit from mental health and mental wellness. It's not just when there's problems or when there's things wrong. I think even when things are going pretty right and you want a little more direction, you want a little bit more support, or someone that you can trust to talk to and really have that space, it's really wonderful for all of us.
Is there anything that you wanted to say about our conversation earlier, about the conference that happened earlier this year, Naropa Institute, or you rather leave that on the table?
Sure. So I'm currently studying at Naropa to do psychedelic assisted therapy. So another exciting thing that's happening in the background is probably in 2024, hopefully early 2024, but we'll see when it gets off the ground. I'll be also doing a psychedelic assisted therapy business.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
And as we were speaking earlier today, when I first arrived, how it's becoming a little bit more mainstream. And just the fact that we were talking about it together was a little risky for both of us because there's a little bit of a taboo about it. And I really respect the pioneering activity that you all are doing with that. I think it's going to be very valuable. They seem to have shown that psychotherapy with psychedelics can really benefit people.
Definitely.
A lot. It's a new field.
Yeah, I've always been called to the things that seem like they're the most helpful for people, and this certainly feels like one of the most important discoveries that's really going to move this field forward and help so many people.
I agree. Well, I would like to invite everybody to contact Natalie for counseling. I'll be putting up her information on the screen so you can write it down and contact her. And to just end, again, this is Jeffrey Herrick. I produce these park bench websites and post these interviews. I personally am a real estate broker, and I would appreciate if anybody has any real estate needs to give me a call, and I will help you with that. And in the meantime, Natalie, thank you once again for doing this. It was really fun interview. And stay tuned for the next installation. Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you.
Therapy can be an exciting place to learn more about yourself and help you engage in the world in new ways, which in turn has the potential to not only benefit your life, but also the lives of people that you care about the most. If this resonates with you, reach out to set up a free consultation and see if we'd be a good fit working together. I look forward to connecting with you soon. Take care.